Welcome back to another deck profile, this time with a revised list for Gammamon for bt15. This is going to be a shorter video and we're just going to jump straight into it. So starting off, we're going to have 4 copies of the RB1 Gammamon. Pretty consistent card draw. Whenever our Digivolution sources increase, draw 1. This obviously works best with the RB1 Hero Tamer, but works with anything else too. Not much else to say. If you want to just run 4 eggs, just run 4 of this. I do run a 5th egg, which is the old bt8 Gammamon. When attacking, if we're 6000 DP or more, we draw a card. I find both of these to be useful in different situations. We do need our Digi eggs to be Gammamon, so you can mix and match if you like. Doesn't really make much of a difference. But yes, those are eggs that we use for the all-important card draw. Going on to our level 3s. The mandatory level 3s are obviously 4 copies of the RB1 Gammamon. He's mandatory because he's the searcher Gammamon for the deck. Top 3, grab pretty much any Digimon in the whole deck, and our Tamer as well. Yeah, obviously it's good because we potentially grab 2 cards. It also has the inheritable of plus 2000. So yeah, good card, no reason not to run 4 of it. The next mandatory 4 of is 4 of the new LM1 Gammamon, the purple one. It has 2 really nice effects. Firstly, an effect deletes one of our other Digimon. This Digimon can Digivolve into something with Gammamon and its text from our trash for free. This comes up a lot. Not only will that allow this card to potentially Digivolve into a level 4, because our level 5 will copy effects, it also will let our level 5 Digivolve into a level 6 for free, potentially. That's what makes this card do good work. It also has the on deletion to play a hero from a hand for free, which is really nice because it just lets us get those extra heroes onto the board for free. Because the deck before could only get the first hero out for free, but now, any hero in our hand, we can often get out for free rather than paying the cost of it. Next off for level 3s, running 2 copies of the P59 Gammamon. This is just if we have a hero, we get plus 2000. It's just another way to get a DP boost, which the deck really likes to have somebody DP boosting. Of course, it doesn't actually have any effect, itself. It just has an inheritable, so we just run 2 of it. To wrap up the Gammamons, I'm running 1 copy of the P65 Gammamon and 1 copy of the bt8 Gammamon. These both have pros and cons. They have a very similar when attacking effect. This one deletes something with 3000 or less if we have 6000 DP or more, which we will always do basically. And then this one, when attacking, deletes something with 2000 less. So they both help us get rid of rookies. This one potentially gives us more card draw when we play Tamers. This one on play also deletes something with 2000 less. I really like 1 copy of this because it's a nice option to bring back from the trash with like one of our Gulas Gammamon. Just to delete one of opponent's rookies, potentially stop them getting game. So that's why I really like at least 1 copy of this. And because of the alt art, I want to run 1 of this anyways. But you can mix up. It's kind of like the last 2, so however you want to run it, I guess. Finally, the last level 3 is 3 copies of the LM1 Pokemon. This card is really good. Because we don't have a training or memory boost option that searches the whole deck, this is something that the deck needs for consistency to search. And even better, he also gives protection. He is basically an ultimate version of Decoy, that if we would leave the battle area in any way, we could delete this Digimon to stop it from leaving play. So this protects us from being deleted, bounced, chaos degrade, anything, as long as this is alive to delete itself. And because it counts as an effect deleting one of our Digimon, this Pokemon pairs excellently with the purple Gammamon. But yeah, this is a crazy card. I've tried different ratios. 2 feels like you don't see it often enough. 3 is a good ratio for it. Because it's a support, we have nothing that can Digivolve on it. So I went 3. Going to our level 4s, we have 3 copies of the Battle Gammamon. Good card, it gives raid, and obviously don't forget all of our level 5 and higher will inherit the effect, so it gives all level 5 and higher will have raid as well. And when digivolving, it lets us play a hero for free if we don't have one. So good card is the early game, and even later on, having raid is nice anyways, so very strong card. Next up, probably the main level 4s of the deck are all the Gammamons. Starting off with 3 copies of the RB1 Gammamon. This is the one that has end of attack, so the attack has to go through and we live. We can delete this Digimon to delete something with equal or less DP. This is really well because it lets us delete potentially really big things, and we sometimes want our big stacks to be deleted because we have a lot of on-deletion effects, and this is a way that we can delete ourselves if we're not deleted by other means. Both Gammamon have the on-deletion to play Gammamon from trash suspended, which is obviously really nice. Bring out this can help us go into more things, pop a rookie, searching. Yeah, it's all good, and it makes it really strong level 4. Next up is the bt10 Gammamon. Same on deletion effect, but this turn, this time its other effect is retaliation. So this by itself has retaliation, and also makes our stack have retaliation, which is really good. We can attack into opponent's thing that's stronger, will be deleted and delete them. It also makes us harder for the opponent to swing into. Even if we just have a suspended level 4, level 5, they might want to attack into us with the Mega because of that retaliation. And its on-deletion effect is always good, because you're always going to have a Gammamon under it, so, there's going to be something in the trash with Gammamon in its name. Next up, we run just one single copy of the Battle Gammamon from BT8. This simply gives Blitz. The effect is strong, however, we don't always need Blitz. We're not like a really red aggressive deck. We're actually more like a aggressive control deck, I guess. But the main reason I only run it 1 is because this is pretty much the only card in the whole deck that doesn't have an alternate Digivolution requirement. It's just on red. So this Battle Gammamon cannot Digivolve on the purple Gammamon. And I just run it as 1 because it can increase the risk of bricking with this one. Effect's still solid though, so 1 of is good. Lastly, I run 2 copies of the RB1 Western Gammamon because there's Blocker, and Blocker is something that's always useful to have. Not only can we potentially bring this one out for free, just so we can block itself, we can also make a big stack be blockers too. We run 2 in order to see 1 consistently enough when we need it. 2 is more than enough for the deck. 1's technically all we need, but if you only run 1, you risk never seeing it. Moving on to level 5s, we start off with 3 copies of the RB1 Kamen Weissman. So all level 5, both on the field, and then inherited will make the level 6 do the same thing, copy all effects of Gammamon. So whilst they might not do a lot by themselves, they'll copy all the effects of everything that's Gammamon in its name under it. This one's signature effect is that if you have a Gammamon that has a Gammamon card under it, it lets us skip our level 4 and go straight from level 3 to level 5. So if you like the little mini warp effect. And because of that, it's really good to go into, because even if we're at 3, we can go straight from a 3 to a 5, and then pass turn by going into a 6. Not much else to say. Only reason I don't run it at 4 is because if I run it at 4, I find that there's a lot of times that I can't warp, so to maximize its usefulness, I like to, warp into it when possible. So that's why I run it at 3, not 4. We'll put it here. Next off of level 5s is 2 copies, again from RB1, of Regulusmon. This one, again, same effect as all other level 5s. And this one has the when digivolving and when attacking effect, once per turn. We can trash a card with Gammamon and its text to make one of our Digimon have on deletion, delete one of our opponent's Digimon with the lowest level until the end of the opponent's turn. This is really good. Obviously, you can just give it to itself, and it means if they delete us, we'll delete one of theirs to the lowest level. It pairs excellently with other effects that wants to delete themselves, such as this. If we attack with this, and then end of attack, we'll delete ourselves, delete something, and then on deletion, delete something, and then on deletion, play our Gammamon. lot of cool things this card can do. The fact it's when digivolving and when attacking is nice, because if we digivolve in the raising area, we can then bring it out and use the effect anyways. Also because it gives its effect to one of our Digimon. If we have Pokemon out, we can just give that effect to the Pokemon, and it means that it will always trigger because Pokemon will delete itself to protect this. So yeah, it's a good card. The only thing I don't like is the trashing part. Sometimes we do want specific pieces in the trash, and this card helps. But overall, like using it multiple times, we actually end up not having that big of a hand or having to trash unoptimal pieces. So I feel like 2 is fine. Next up, 1 copy of Gammamon. I actually like this card. I kind of ran it as a joke at first, but it's actually grown on me a fair bit. It has a very simple effect. We give one of opponent's Digimon minus 3000, and on deletion lose a memory. Simply we can just delete a rookie, and then we kind of effectively gain a memory from that. So it kind of makes it a 2 evo rather than a 3, which is nice. We can also just give it onto one of opponent's big things, and then go into a level 6. The minus 3000 might help us delete their big body, and then when we delete it, we'll gain a memory from it anyways. Note that this does last until the end of their turn, which can come up, so it can make them lose a memory during their turn. Overall, yeah, it's solid. For some reason, its effect's also on play, but we're not really going to be hard playing it, so I don't really see why it has an on play, but, you know, I guess. The last level 5 is 2 copies of Gammamon Ace. This is a card I was running at 1, but after figuring out better combos with this card, 2 of is really solid. It allows us to trash a card, and then put something with Gammamon and its text under it. And then whenever its sources increase once per turn, we can delete a level 4 or lower to play back a level 4 or lower from our trash. Obviously, the most obvious example of when it's good is if they attack us and they have a level 4 lower on the field, we can go into this, delete their level 4 lower, bring back one of our level 4 lower, and that's a lot of free real estate in a way. We could also hard play. I have hard played this several times at locals because it's only a 5 play cost, and especially if they don't expect it, being able to delete one of their level 4s and bring up one of our level 4s is really good value for 5. Like, we're playing a level 5, deleting a level 4, bringing back our level 4, we're getting stuff going. Really good. The only downside of this card, obviously it's Ace, so it's got overflow. The other downside is, unlike all our level 5s, Gammamon Ace doesn't have an effect to copy all the other effects. It doesn't have it, which means that for its effect, when it puts something under, you need to put one of your level 5s under it to make it actually copy all our level 4 and level 3 effects. That's really important to note, because if you don't do that, this won't have like retaliation and bringing back Gammamon and raid and all that kind of stuff. It just won't have it. So that's really important to note, and it's why I don't like running more copies, because you really need one of these in your hand or trash to make best use of this. So do bear in mind that regular Gammamon Ace doesn't naturally copy everything, but 2 copies is working out really well. Moving on to level 6, this part's really simple. There's only 1 Arctismon in the game, so we're running 3 copies of Arctismon. This card's really good. It's got it can place something from trash underneath its sources and then delete something. When sometimes you don't have enough sources to delete like a level 6 or 7. With the Tamer, you definitely will, but sometimes you don't, so it can be awkward. But the fact that it puts something from trash under it's really nice. It allows us to get any of these effects that you want, as long as you've played it before. And then this has the really crazy on deletion. We can add any Digimon from our trash back to our hand. Then by trashing Siriusmon, this card can go. We can play our level 7 Proximamon for free. So obviously, if you're missing Siriusmon or Proximamon, you can add one of those from the trash back to your hand, and then discard or play it. But if you already have the pieces, this can add any Digimon, so it really helps set up for later too. Also, it's 13,000, which is nice. Yeah, really nice card. I guess one downside is it digivolves for 4, not 3. Card's strong, you need to play it. There's only 1 Arctismon in the game, so very easy 3 of. We do complement that with 3 of the other level 6 Siriusmon. I run 2 Serious-mon and 1 Serious-mon Ace. This one can be offensive. It also can increase its sources and delete something. Its deletion effect is a bit different. It's DP based, not Digivolution source based. So I actually find this one to be a little bit easier to delete something with. And then if we delete something, we may unsuspend this Digimon, which is nice. It means if we unsuspend it and delete something, we don't waste the second effect. We potentially swing, delete something else, unsuspend, swing at security. But yeah, card's really nice. And the other one is Serious-mon Ace. I kind of feel like this card is a very average ace and it doesn't really do a lot. It's mainly because it's on play or when Digivolving effect doesn't delete level 6s unless you have a lot of different colors. It's color based. So you have red, purple, maybe green, maybe something else, yellow. Pokemon can be put under as well. But it's really hard to delete level 6 with this. So I kind of consider this more like a, delete a level 5 or lower. So the card's kind of average, but it can be nice to have an extra ace to catch people off guard. But otherwise, you can just run 3 Serious-mon if you don't want to run the ace. Lastly, level 7, pretty simple, 2 Proximamon. This is a solid card. Obviously, we are never going to be Digivolving into this for 6, really. I mean, in some situations we can, but I just never really do it. We are either going to be playing it for free with Arcturusmon, or playing it, Digivolving into it for 3, on top of a Serious-mon that has Arcturusmon in its sources. And this card's really good. It pairs well with a lot of deletion we'll naturally do to pass turn with this. And it gets constant value as it's out, especially if the opponent keeps swinging, and if we have a blocker. It works really well with the blocker. But yeah, not much else to say. It's a pretty solid card. I don't think it's super amazing, but because we have the ability, to search it and play it for free, that makes it good. Moving on to the final cards of the deck, we have the Tamers. We're running 4 copies of the RB1 Hero. This card is the backbone of the deck. Because start a main phase, we can put something with Gammamon in its name into its sources in order to gain a memory and draw one. This is really good to effectively increase the number of effects that our stack has, and it's kind of like the way we get memory too. And then also we give it plus 2000, which is also nice to do. Having multiple of these out will make our stack really thick and high DP. So big and thick stack. Thanks, Hero. Searchable, playable, mandatory 3 of. Very, very good card. Next up, I reduced this from 2 to 1, is the Memory Tamer Hero. When attacking, we can give pretty much anything in our deck plus 2000 DP, and sets our memory to 3 at the start of the turn. I was running this at 2, and I still think the card it is nice to have a second Memory Tamer. But the last 2 cards turned out to be better against threats. So this card's good, but other cards are kind of like better. But feel free to bump this up to 2. Yeah, I'll put it there. Last 2 cards of the deck. These are just the tech choices. They're not Gammamon related. One copy of Crimson Blaze. Crimson Blaze is really good at the moment. There's a lot of deck that it hits. And obviously, we're red deck, or red enough anyways. The card's good. Just good against wide boards, good against stuff that plays Digimon by card effects. Some decks it does nothing, some decks it does everything. It really just depends what you're versing. So I've been just running 1 copy, but it really depends on your locals meta. You could bump it up to 2. And last card, because it just works, is 1 copy of Death Xmon. We technically can Digivolve into this, because Arcturusmon is purple, so we can technically Digivolve into this. Again, never do. It's just useful against wide boards, and it's useful for stuff that has a lot of nasty on deletion effects. De-Digivolving them down can make them lose effects. And obviously Death X, it's expensive for a reason. Death X is a good card. Fun thing about Death X, Arcturusmon on deletion adds back any Digimon from our trash back to our hand. So if we already have like Serious-mon and Proxy, Arctismon can just add back DeathXmon from a trash back to a hand, so that can be a funny thing to do. Also, because it copies, we'll still copy effects. It potentially lets our DeathXmon have weird effects if we do Digivolve into it, which again, I don't really. But if we did Digivolve into it, we could have a bunch of funny effects, like, you know, Raid and Retaliation and Blocker. So that's a funny thought, but again, not really going to come up. Anyway, that's the deck profile. I've been playing this for the last 3 locals, of which I've won 2 of them with this deck. And it's been going really good. There's other decks that this deck struggles with, but there's a lot of decks that I've actually had success. I've versed like Greymon, Royal Knight, Red Hybrid, there's other decks. I've versed Magnamon, Mastermon, Royal Knight, Stevers. There's a lot of decks that, it's been really fun to try this against a number of decks, and it's been working well for me. But yeah, that's the end of the deck profile. Feel free to comment questions or any thoughts in the comments below, and take a screenshot of this if you like. And this is K-Time signing out. Peace.